I want to give you a little sort of chapter in the book about how extreme the American right-wing movement is getting. There's this sort of like on-campus right-wing group called Turning Point USA. Charlie Kirk is one of the sort of more publicly known people associated with this group, Turning Point USA. They have now jumped fully into the sort of conspiracy QAnon Alex Jones fray, to the point that at a recent event called Defeating the Great Reset — the Great Reset is a favorite idea, I guess we would call it, of people like Alex Jones and Steve Bannon and those types — Charlie Kirk actually interviewed Alex Jones. This was at one point sort of like, I never considered them this, but considered by the right a very mainstream right-wing group, just indoctrinating college students into basic conservative economics and this type of thing. It is completely over the hill insane at this point in time. And I'm going to play for you a clip here of Charlie Kirk making a really big deal of, I mean, listen, after all, it's just Alex Jones. It's just a conspiracy theorist. This is the great thinker that Turning Point USA is bringing to its attendees. It's sad, but also scary in that it shows how extreme this movement has gotten.
Very special remote guest for you. Now, I only ask this, since we're doing the remote guest, while we're talking, I just want to make sure our guest can hear everything we're saying and all that. So, I was told by everybody, it's not the President Trump, but it is going to make you guys wait till you see this. All right?
Wow. Must be pretty good.
In fact, this man is more hated by the media than Donald Trump, and that says something, okay? Which is, so, if you're going to talk about the Great Reset,
right,
then you have to have...
Which, by the way, I don't know why you would, but...
Someone who's the most banned man in America. Alex Jones joins us.
How exciting. We're now going to get the truth. Standing ovation to the guy who said something about gay frogs and that Sandy Hook was fake.
So Alex, Alex, welcome remotely. I was told by all the people, like, oh, you can't have Alex at your event, which makes me just want to have Alex even more.
Anything that people say is bad is actually good. That's fundamentally conservatism. Sometimes, and I want to be reactionary conservatism, sometimes things that people say are bad are actually just bad.
Alex, you wrote a book on the Great Reset. What is the Great Reset? Why did you write the book?
Well, I saw Steve Bannon yesterday, and he's absolutely right. And I love the title and the.
Yeah, they are now including Alex Jones in official Turning Point USA events. Here's what I hope you will glean from this: these are considered the thinkers among the right. These are considered the thinkers among the right. Here's one more clip where Alex Jones talks about cows biblically.
Let's zero in on the food thing, Alex. In particular, they are fascinated with getting rid of meat. Talk more about that, but also talk about the other implications of getting rid of meat. Testosterone levels, maybe replacing it with this synthetic nonsense that Bill Gates just happens to also be an investor in, by the way, super crony capitalist. Talk about why they're so incredibly focused on eradicating meat from our planet. What's going on with this?
Yeah, tell us.
Well, if you go back to Genesis, anybody should go read it, written 3,000 plus years ago by amazing Jewish scribes.
I'm so not anti-Semitic that I'm going to call the Jewish scribes amazing.
Inspired by God. In the first chapter, they just keep talking about cows and meat all day long and saying that's the real symbol of freedom. Now, Moses said later, we're not going to worship the golden calf. That's idolatry, but they were worshiping a golden calf.
This guy is truly pathetic. And I want to tell you what the real scam is here. The real scam is this entire movement pretending to care about the Bible. We talked with Ben Dixon about this in the last segment, and he says these people aren't even really Christian. This was the moment at which point it became clear that the 5-6 years that followed were going to be Republicans pretending to care about the Bible.
Okay. You mentioned the Bible. You've been talking about how it's your favorite book. And you said, I think last night in Iowa, some people are surprised that you say that. I'm wondering what one or two of your most favorite Bible verses are, and why.
I wouldn't want to get into it because to me that's very personal. You know, when I talk about the Bible, it's very personal. So I don't want to get into verses. I don't want to get into.
There's no verse that means.
By the way, notice how articulate Trump was, even just how much more articulate Trump was, even just a few years ago.
It's a lot to you that you think about or cite?
The Bible means a lot to me, but I don't want to get into specifics.
Even to cite a verse that you like?
No, I don't want to do that.
You're an Old Testament guy or a New Testament guy?
Probably equal. I think it's just an incredible.
Are you a pancakes or a French toast guy? Both are good. Both are really good.
The whole Bible is an incredible. I joke very much so. They always hold up the Art of the Deal. I say my second favorite book of all time. But I just think the Bible is just something very special.
It's super special, and Donald Trump is not going to say any more about it. These are the exact type of panderers that Ben Dixon was just warning about in the last segment, who he is fighting against. Really scary stuff. The only streaming service dedicated to documentaries is CuriosityStream, our longtime sponsor. On CuriosityStream, you will find the best selection of documentaries, better than any other platform. They've got the newest and most critically acclaimed titles. I've been watching CuriosityStream in my living room. I recently watched the 6-episode series Inside the Mind of a Con Artist. I'm fascinated by scammers and cons and how they get away with what they do. Really great series that I can recommend to you. CuriosityStream is always adding new content. They've got documentaries by filmmakers we know and love, but they make it easy to find new independent documentaries as well. If you want to absorb as much as you can, CuriosityStream is for you. If you want to retain very little once you turn off the TV, you can also just relax with like a nature documentary. CuriosityStream has those too. And with the special discount for my audience, you can get CuriosityStream for $15 a year, not a month, a year. That's under $2 a month. Go to curiositystream.com/Pacman and use the code Pacman. The link is down below.